All right. All right. I can't even see my own live here, so hopefully I am indeed live. And I'm going to talk about the number one most important thing to long-term success. Number one most important thing to long-term success. And it's overlooked because there's an incentive problem. There's a fundamental incentive problem. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I mean, we get a massive amount of endorphins when good things happen, right? We get out of debt, we climb out of a hole, we lose 40 pounds, we get off our diabetic medicine, uh, we avoid bankruptcy, just barely avoid bankruptcy, and then we're celebrated for it. Rightfully so, but we're celebrated for it, okay? And we like being celebrated. Now, here's the fundamental incentive problem. We're not celebrating the friend that never gained the 30 pounds in the first place. We're not celebrating our family member that never came close to bankruptcy. And so we undervalue when bad things don't happen. Because when bad things don't happen, we make so much more progress. We have limited time, limited money, limited resources, and they need to be spent moving forward. Every time you dig yourself into a hole, it takes time, money, and resources to dig back out. And we celebrate that, right? We celebrate the firefighter that goes in and saves somebody's life. Again, we should celebrate the firefighter that goes in and saves somebody's life. But we're not celebrating everybody that built a fireproof house or whose house never caught fire. So there is an endorphin problem, there's a dopamine problem in that we are actually incentivized to yo yo diet because we gain the weight, but then we lose it and everybody's proud of us and we're proud of ourselves and it feels so good. But then we don't get celebrated every day we keep the weight off. And so if we want that dopamine hit, we can self sabotage a little bit and then lose the weight again and get all that celebration again. And what happens is we spend all of our time, all of our money, and all of our resources on ending up in the exact same place. Even though we celebrated 55 wins, we didn't make any forward progress at all. So, the key to sustainability, this key to long term success, is learning how to appreciate and celebrate and reward when bad things don't happen. When bad things don't happen, when you actually stay the same or move forward. Because if we only stay the same or move forward, use weight loss as an example again. If we only stay the same or lose weight, those are the only two things we do, over time, we will be lighter than when we started. May not be as fast as we want. We may not get celebrated all the time, but if there are the only options or the same or lighter, or in business, the same or more profitable, if those are the only options, we're going to be better off in the long term than the yo yo up and down cycle. So I write about it a lot in my book Bumpers. You go to bumpersbook.com. But that is really the key. The key, it is not pushing for higher highs. By definition, your highest high is the best you can do. It's really hard to do better than the best you can do. However, the actual, like your actual weight or the actual number in your bank account, all that stuff is somewhere between your ceiling and your floor. So instead of pushing for higher highs, where you're still going to end up somewhere in the middle, we need to eliminate our worst days, our worst weeks, our worst months, raise the floor, right? So if you make $100,000 and then you lose $50,000 and you make $110,000 and you lose $55,000, right? Even though the peak's getting higher, you may be better off if you make $100,000 and then you lose 20. Then you make $100,000 again. It's not a new high, but you only lose 5. You're going to have way more money in the bank by raising the floor. Same with weight loss, same with performance. Anything that is going to last any appreciable amount of time, we need to appreciate when bad things don't happen. We need to build in systems to raise the floor. And until the floor is almost as high as the ceiling, pushing for a higher ceiling is more likely to blow us the fuck up than to give us a better life. Right? Remember that on either side of a peak, look at a mountain, look at the stock market, look at anything that ebbs and flows. In any peak on either side, there's a valley. Always. It wouldn't be a peak if there were not a valley on either side. So the only way to continue to improve forever and get on average better and better is to mitigate those valleys. Okay? Hopefully that's helpful. Bumpersbook.com says I'm going to buy your book. Thank you. Bumpersbook.com. Want to mitigate. Oh, if you buy Bumpers, I'll give you access to a really cool free platform that nobody knows about yet. But that's the key, right? Keep your ceiling the same, raise the floor. You're going to be 100 times better off than if you keep pushing for a higher ceiling, because even if you reach it, there's a peak on the other side of that valley. There's a valley on the other side of that peak. Raise the valley, raise the floor, improve the rolling average. For anything that you want to do for any amount of time, we must learn to incentivize rewarding when bad things don't happen. I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate your friend that lost 50 pounds. But is that fair, and is the incentive aligned if we don't also celebrate the friends that never gained 50 pounds in the first place? Our dopamine addicted brains are going to self-sabotage if all we have to do is dig a hole and dig back out, and everybody's going to celebrate us. Right? We need to have our own systems for raising the floor. Hopefully that's useful. If you know anybody with benefit, tag them, share it, all that stuff. It's really trying to get it out there. Is that raise the floor, just raise the floor, raise the floor, raise the floor. When the floor and the ceiling are right here, like close, you can start pushing the ceiling if you want, create a little bit of discrepancy. But the truth is, everybody says it's not sexy to raise the floor. When COVID hit, when shelter in place hit, when economic recessions hit, it's going to be extremely appealing when your floor is higher than everybody else's ceiling. Right? It is when disaster strikes that the stoicism and the system-minded people really stand out. Okay, so think about that. Hopefully it's useful. And like, share, tag, bumpersbook.com. Go buy the book.